Princess and the Tree. There was once a naughty prince. He always muckling about with his niece Silly Willy the jester. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Silly Willy and the prince rode their bikes around the castle and got into all kinds of mischief. Bang, crash, bang, clang, crash. They made so much racket that no one could get any peace at all. It drove the king and the queen balmy. Silly Willy and the princess hated going to bed. They stayed up all night pumping out loud rap music. Their favorite singer was the Razzle Dazzle Rap Princess. Boom, boom, boom. I'm the rap princess. With my Razzle Dazzle smile, I'm a big success. Some of us have to work for a living, shouted the king. Early in the morning, when everyone else was getting up, the prince and the Silly Willy crept into their beds and slept all day long. It's time he found a nice princess and got a palace of his own, said the king. They put up advertisements in every corner of the kingdom. It wasn't long before a queenie of a princess turned up at the palace. Some were tall, some were tiny, some were full, some were posh. The queen made lovely soft beds for each princess, but the minute they fell asleep, Silly Willy and the princess would pump up the volume, and the poor princess would run screaming at the night. Boom, boom, boom. I must confess I'm better than the best. I'm the rat princess. The king and the queen thought they would never get any peace at all. One night there was a terrible storm. The wind and the rain blew around the palace and lightning flickered in the sky. Silly Willy and the princess thought it was brilliant. The poor old king and the queen had never less sleep than usual. First there was a thunder. Then a huge tree blew down the palace garden. Crash! Finally, somebody started ringing the doorbell very loudly. The king went downstairs in his pajamas. A mysterious stranger stood on the doorstep, dressed in a black and dripping water. I was riding my bike in the rain and the storm said that cozy castle sure looks warm. Oh, said the king, I suppose you better come in. You can bring your bike inside like we do, giggled Silly Willy. I've been out all night. It was kindy creepy. Now I'm feeling awful sleepy. So the mysterious rider rode up the steps into the broom. We'll make you a lovely soft bed, said the queen. But you won't get much sleep around here, warned the king. Well, with the storm and there's two muckling about, don't you worry, Mr. King, I can sleep through anything. Well, said the king, if you can sleep one night, this palace, you can marry our son. In this palace, you can marry our son. Wait a minute. The queen put the stranger in a huge warm bed with a lot of mattress. She was so tired, she didn't even take off her helmet. In the 2 seconds, she was fast asleep and snoring gently. The prince and the Silly Willy worried. They went downstairs and played their music as loud as they could. Boom, boom, boom. It's my king, Razzle Dazzle. He's got loads of bling. But still the stranger kept snoring. Silly Willy and the prince pushed the bed out of the bedroom, and still she kept on snoring. Along the line, downstairs the stairs, out of the door, and into the store. Down the hill, along the river, up the stairs, and into the bedroom. And she kept on snoring. That's a big soft bed, puffed the prince. It's far too comfortable. Silly Willy had an idea. He ran outside and came back with a huge tree from the garden. They lifted the sleeping stranger and put the tree under the bottom mattress. But she still kept on snoring. By morning, the prince and the silly Willy were exhausted, and at last the mysterious stranger came down the stairs. The prince and the silly Willy couldn't believe their eyes. "Well, didn't you guess? Nice to meet you. I'm the Rat Princess." "Goodness," said the king. "And how did you sleep?" asked the queen. "There was a thunder and rain and wind of fog, but I didn't hear nothing, 'cause I slept like a log." And they were three messily happy for the rest of their silly life. Vroom!